na procházce. And I'm happy that you're watching because today's topic is a very common struggle, very common thought of many of our students. And the topic is why it feels so hard. Even sometimes just to think about Czech grammar, right? Because you have been learning Czech for some time. You even know a lot of rules already, but then when it comes to applying them, when you are in front of that Czech friend or Czech colleague, you are just pausing. He's asking you, would you like to go for a coffee? Nechceš jít na kafe? And then you're like, okay, rád, nechci, jdu, pojedu, půjdu, s tebou. Instead of just saying, ráda půjdu s tebou. I'll be happy to join. I'll be happy to come with you. And today I don't want to be convincing you that Czech grammar is easy, because it's not. But I want to share with you another perspective. I want to show you Czech grammar from the teacher's perspective and how you can look at it. Okay? So from my experience, there are 3 stages of teachers. The first stage teacher is a teacher who is just starting to teach, and I will say she, she needs to learn how to look at the Czech grammar from the foreigner's point of view. And her lessons would typically start with learning the basic verbs, alphabet, and the letters and how to pronounce them. So she is taking the grammar as the goal of the lesson. Then there is the second stage teacher who still looks at the grammar as something we need to have as objective or goal of the lesson, but she's already more clever, let's say, more life-oriented, and she starts with some story or a communication situation or a dialogue. And then from that part, where you have already seen the grammar, you will deduce what the rules are. And then there is the third stage teacher who has been to all those stages before and who sees the grammar differently. The grammar is not the goal of the lesson. The goal of the lesson is life, something that you need in your life. And the lessons would start typically asking you, where are you now? What do you need? What do you want? And how can we get there? So she would ask you about why are you learning Czech? Because this is the reason. You are not learning Czech to understand the Czech grammar. You are learning Czech to talk to Czechs, to talk to important people in your life, right? And I know all the stages, I've been to all the stages, and there's nothing wrong about any of these 3 stages of teaching. But just think about what you need, what is the best for you. And from my experience, the fastest and the more visible progress is with the third stage teacher. I want to share experience, my own experience from my early teaching days. Just before COVID, I had a lovely group of 4 women, and our topic was, it's chapter number 4 in Čeština Express, and the topic is family. So if you're an unexperienced teacher as I was, you would think that's a great topic. But actually it showed up as a painful topic because one of the women, she was over 60 and she didn't have any parents, living parents. Another women, they were living alone in this country, so they didn't have any relatives here. Or often what happens is that you have bad relationships within your family. You don't want to talk about your family. So the family topic is actually the hardest, one of the hardest to teach. So today what I would do as the third stage teacher is to know their life, to ask maybe, and to omit, just to skip. We can skip this chapter, we don't need it. But you might ask, okay, so in this chapter, from the grammar point of view, we are learning the possessive pronouns. So moje maminka, twój tatínek, naše babička, and so on. And we need it. We need to know who is whom, or that this is my child, right? But what I can do is to see with you, okay, so you have a dog and your neighbor has a dog and you just want to walk your dogs together. So you can learn those possessive pronouns on můj pes, tvůj pes, můj soused, náš veterinář, jeho granule. So it's or his dog food. Jeho granule. So if you want to see the progress fast, first what you need to do is you ask yourself what you need now. Second, wait, I have the notes here so that I can give you the 3 stages that from my perspective makes sense. So first stage is you ask yourself what you need now in life, not in grammar. Okay. Then second stage is you accept that you will learn just a small part of that grammar, and you can do the possessive pronouns for a month. You don't need to be learning them for one lesson and then go to another topic, because you haven't used them enough, you haven't internalized them yet. So you might spend few weeks, few months on that topic, and it's okay, because the third part is that, or third step, you ignore the rest. You don't need to go through the grammar book from lesson 1 to lesson 12 in 12 weeks. You adapt it to your life, because you are learning Czech, to live here, to connect with your friends, colleagues, family. You want to talk to your mother-in-law, to delivery guy on the phone. And the grammar is not the goal of why you are learning Czech, right? I have also another story to share with you, a very short one, because my mom's friend, he is Turkish, and his grandmother, his granny, babi, jeho babi. No, he is not Turkish. His grandmother is Turkish. He's not Turkish. He's German or English, I don't remember. But the point is that he learned Turkish from his grandmother. But it's not his mother tongue. His mother tongue is, let's say, German. But he said to my mom, I would not be able to work in a Turkish company because I know words like pohádka, medvěd, kniha, med, and I don't know počítač, myš. So he doesn't know the computer, he doesn't know connection, he doesn't know the words related to technology, to working in an IT company or, so, and he's fine, he speaks fluent Turkish. You would not recognize that he's not Turkish, but he just doesn't need all the words, he doesn't need all the grammar, and he learned just what he needed in order to connect with his grandma. And this is the point. So my task here is not to be convincing you that Czech grammar is easy, that you should just go with the flow, learn it, memorize it, or just accept that, okay, this lesson we are learning about cases, we will spend, 4 more lessons with accusative case. No, it's boring and it's not useful. You want to spend lessons talking about how to talk to your neighbor when walking the dog, and there you can learn accusative. So if you want to change the perspective, what you can do is, okay, so for next 3 months I will be focusing on, so let's keep the topic, walking the dog with my neighbor. So I will learn possessive pronouns. Můj pes, tvůj pes, jeho veterinář, náš park. I will learn prepositions. So I go over the river, přes řeku, z domu, I leave the house, from the house. I will learn prefixes. So leave the house, vyjít, enter the house, vejít do domu, or přejít řeku, go over the river. So you will see the grammar from the life perspective, and this is what I would love you to encourage. I would love encourage you to do is just saying yourself, okay, Czech grammar is hard, I accept it, but when I know that I can choose just a small bit, when I know how to choose that small bit, I can do it. And this is a slow Czech task for you too, to encourage you, to show you Czech is amazing language that helps you to connect with your family, with your mother-in-law, with your friends, with your colleagues, maybe to honor your heritage because your grandparents were Czech, or you just come from time to time, you want to spend summer with your grandchildren here and you want to connect with another Czechs in Prague. Bonjour. Zdravím. So Czech grammar is hard, but not when you have, let's say, that slow Czech look at Czech grammar. And as usual, I want to share a few up to date, what is new and what is happening at Slow Czech this week. This weekend, we had a conference for Czech teachers, and it was amazing. It was happening in Brno. 27 teachers came, and we just shared, we connected, we learned so many things. You will definitely see videos on Instagram, and we have amazing video on YouTube, gossips in Czech, where Moncha and Šárka, they pretended to be elderly women talking about Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, being together, splitting up, getting, I don't know, married, divorced, whatever we need to talk about relationships. And last thing, very important thing, I would love to invite you. We are preparing a January event, 3-day event, free one, where I will talk about today's topic and others more in depth, víc do hloubky. So I'm preparing the invitation. If you want to receive it, make sure to subscribe to the newsletter, slowczech.com/newsletter, and I'll be happy to share the invitation with you and see you in January event. If you want to share your thoughts on today's video, I'll be happy to read it. I'm very happy to answer all your questions too, and see you next week in another live video. Měj se hezky, uč se česky a čau!